2, and
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco.
good morning, everybody, and welcome. We're calling this show this morning the Morning Crow. I don't know. We've been having some really good morning. Uh, you know, look at a couple news stories, spur up some conversation, take it where it goes. I've been looking for a name. I don't know. This morning I woke up to the sounds of crows, and I said, oh, I don't know, Morning Crow. I don't know. So welcome.
I know. I started crowing right first thing. Not a good way to
So good
start
morning.
the day.
So yeah, here with William, Michael, and Safi. Uh, so William, you want to give us a little update on this terrible shooting from yesterday? What do you got for us, man?
Man, it's hard to find anything solid about what's going on. I mean, the story's not changing or anything right now, but it's still kind of hard to believe the whole thing. But that's not what's so fishy about it. What's really fishy about it is the response coming out. Everything is about gun control, gun laws. The president's coming out talking about he's going to sign new laws into action, which he can't because the Constitution limits him on this. But I mean, it's just, I don't want to jump out and assume right off the bat that it's a hoax, but it's feeling like some fishy's going on, that it's not all up and up.
Drudge had a headline today, and I just put a link to the thing. Oh, my thing is running a little bit slow now too, but apparently he was planning this 6 months in advance. Do you hear me?
Yeah. Is it near
Yeah.
you, William? Uh-oh. Did we lose William?
No, I'm right here.
Okay.
Here. No, I'm in the opposite side of the state. That's in Charleston. That's the southern coastal region. So
Yeah.
and predominantly Charleston is black, predominantly. So,
Right.
And I think what's going on here with the news and the media and the way because every reference to it is inciting racial tension. Like every report you hear.
Well, it's just like Ferguson. It's just like
Ferguson.
Trayvon Martin. I mean, seriously, when do people recognize that they've seen this movie?
Yeah.
The strangest thing is if a guy has this in mind to do, and unless he's waiting on a specific person to get there, which may be the case, how do you come into a church?
Mind control.
Well, I'm not going to mark off the Manchurian Candidate aspect of it because, I mean,
seriously, but think about it, just at its sheer basics. Unless you are a robot and you've got guns in your pocket and you have an intention, it's not likely you're going to sit there for an hour just killing time.
Standing out like a sore thumb. Let's not skip over that. This is the white dude in the middle of the black church.
Probably looking nervous.
Well, that's the thing. If he was looking nervous, other people would have gotten nervous. You know what I'm saying? If he's antsy and he's acting like a.
But have we determined any SSRIs? I mean, do we got that evidence yet? I wonder. Because somebody already did a name search. And can we talk about Dylan Stormroof? What is this kid? An Indian or something? Dances with wolves? What are we talking about here? There is no Stormroof. There's no this name does not exist in the registry of that state. Not in Ancestry.com, and I probably do have Fabio. He's not very nice to me. I have a tough time with obnoxious men.
Hi.
Okay. Yeah, because he sent me a PM who wanted to get in.
Well, if he could mind his manners, I would be more than happy to unblock him.
Oh, I would appreciate that if he could.
Trust me, I won't take any. I'm not even going to hear a bad tone of voice out of him as it regards me.
Okay.
So
that's fair enough.
Those are my conditions.
That's fair enough. But moving on.
So anyway, I forgot where I was because now I
He's
have.
sitting in there quiet or whatever for an hour before he shoots 9 people.
Yeah, see, you have to think, and this is the modus operandi. You see these people, they have, maybe a mother, can't find the dad, and this is what this Kay Griggs talks about.
Right.
These kids are looked for. The Adam Lanzes, the whatever the names of these knuckleheads are.
Michael Land, aside from the deep conspiracy theory here, let's say it's all legit. Does this make the case that guns are bad?
No, it's an inanimate object.
What it makes a case for is that this guy, if it is legit, picked a church where people are typically unarmed to go in and find his victims. Like, if people in the church would have been armed, I believe that there wouldn't be 9 dead people. There might be 2.
You got that correct.
And so there's not
it's
an
interesting. They just did a thing the other day about marijuana, that in Colorado, prescription drug use is down like 30%. So when you give everybody the opportunity to fight back, ain't nobody shooting.
Yep. And the first thing out of everybody's mouth is guns.
Because here's the deal. You can't keep the guns away from the bad people. You can only keep them away from the good people. And that's a quotient I'm not going to be in. I'll be dead first.
Somebody said yesterday, just wait for the gun rights people to come out and advocate that these people should have been packing in the church. And let me tell you, that time is here. That's what I'm telling you.
I understand.
No, but I'm just saying this because the person was in here yesterday, and he knows who he is, and he's a friend of mine. But I thought about that last night, and yeah, I am that voice. Then I'll be the one to say it. Yes, these people should be armed when they're at the grocery store, when they're at church, wherever they are, because these people are looking for victims, in a captive type environment, just closed in. They want fish in a barrel. And
I hate to interrupt you. What is Fabio's last name? I can't find him. I don't know where he is. I don't know.
Search your people and just put Fabio.
I did it. I started with Fabio, and there's a ton of them.
No, look in your peoples, look in your circles, and then there should be a drop down of blocked. Who you have blocked? His last name is.
And where? Where would it be?
If you go, let's see, you go click people. I'm trying to find.
Oh, people. Okay, hold on.
You go to people. Your circles, and then you'll see the little actions. It says actions.
Eat shit. Wait, I'm too new with this. Where is this? The doorbell. Have you your circles? Under your circles?
Yeah, click your circles, and then you see the drop down. It says actions to the left.
People to.
It says actions. Yeah, and then you'll be able to drop. Right. Then you'll see view blocked. You'll see view blocked. You ignored.
Damn.
Oh, you got a lot of people blocked, huh?
I don't even know who these people are. Somebody's in Arabic. I don't even know who these people are. Oh, I know who that is.
Is that Safi?
I think he's good. I think I did that.
Okay.
I see somebody found the toolbox. Oh.
That's not Safi. He's not being that kind of asshole I am.
This president has done a lot to the Constitution, and he's figured out how to get this hate mongering and race baiting to the nth degree, and it's been just a disgusting display for the last 8 years. The problem is that Congress and the House isn't going to stop him. I mean, you got this TTP thing going through. We're going to get fucked royally.
But you know what? He can pass whatever laws he wants. That does not change my personal resolve. It doesn't matter what he tries to pass because it's not a law if it violates my rights. And my rights are dependent on the Constitution.
They're going to come with guns before we can draw ours, and you're going to have to die for that.
I don't mind going like that.
That one's going to have to. You're going to have to die for that one.
There are worse ways to die.
I understand fully. I'm right there with you, my man. I'm just stating the obvious because it will come down to that.
Yeah, I'm not even about wearing a bulletproof vest because I don't want to.
And then you got the stupid Dianne Pelosi's and all those other people who all,
Dianne
Feinstein and Nancy Pelosi, they all walk around with men with loaded guns at their side.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody has them, there's no power struggle.
Well, there's a lot of people who are so affected by the fear-mongering that they beg and plead for you to see it their way. And I'm like, you can't plead enough to make me want to be a victim.
It couldn't. You absolutely could not. Here's the deal. Whoa. Here's the deal. At my stage of the game, I'm not interested in being hurt by somebody. Not interested in somebody coming into my home and me having to fight with the broomstick.
Right. And there's an image for you.
So seriously, I never thought in my lifetime, it never occurred to me that I would ever own a gun. Now understand, I own a shotgun for skeet and trap. I never considered that as owning a gun.
Right.
That gun was only considered any time not as something that I owned for personal protection or to go out and shoot a deer,
just sport,
but to shoot and skeet and trap. End of story. I never considered it a gun. The day I decided I needed a handgun, I didn't want to bring a handgun into my house. I don't like handguns. I did not like being trained to use a handgun.
Right.
But guess what? I know I'm going to need one come future. I mean, this is just a crazy world.
And if you don't, it doesn't hurt to have had the knowledge.
That's right. That's exactly right.
There's just even if you were to find a way to take away all the guns, I would still arm myself. I would engineer ways to defend myself. You just have no idea.
You have the right to protect yourself. Absolutely.
Because the people...
I don't get what people don't get. I mean, they can only see the short-sightedness of, well, guns kill people. Yeah? Well, guess what? Somebody comes crawling through your house, wants to take your property, shoot your wife, hurt your children. I ask you. You'd be the first person to grab a gun if it were sitting there, and don't tell me you wouldn't.
You know, my point being in that is as desperate as I would be to form ways to defend myself, there are people out there who are just as desperate to find ways to attack other people, to hurt other people.
It's not the Wild West out there, unless you're a police officer.
Well, even then, sometimes these are the problems. These men are armed, and they have the ability to make you do whatever they want.
It's really interesting. As a woman and a non-gun person, really, I belong to a field and stream club, and it's 90% men. And at no time, I mean, when you talk about artillery at this gun club, there's more guns. These guys are strapped. They've got homemade shit. They've got shells they've packed and loaded themselves. And at no time do you ever walk around concerned that there's going to be a knucklehead.
Right.
Now, I find it interesting that you can walk into a church and we got to worry about some drugged-out kid who found somebody's gun. That doesn't have anything to do with who can buy a gun. You can get a gun if you want a gun. We've got 1,000 laws on the books. Going to kill somebody, you're going to kill somebody.
Yeah, and I would rather, no matter what they've engineered to come and kill me or mine, I want to use my gun. It's
and
what
nobody
I'm comfortable
ever
with.
Talks about how many people were saved by guns.
Well, if they didn't work, the cops wouldn't use them.
There it is. Yeah, gun owners are 9 times out of 10. These are not people you have to be worried about.
No.
The ones you have to worry about are the ones that found a gun on the street and shaved off the numbers or whatever, and they're, trying to bop you over the head for whatever you might have.
I want to be all cryptic and weird for a second. Okay, this is for all the people who are anti-gun and who are afraid of guns. This is going to creep you out, and it should, but then you should really think about why. Your fears are already true. There are more people around you right now with guns than you can imagine. Most of the people that I'm around have no idea that I'm carrying a gun. They have no idea because I don't broadcast it. That's my secret. Okay, you don't know who's got a knife. You don't know who's got what. The only thing keeping you from death at any time, regardless of whether guns are out there or knives or whatever, are people's restraint.
And people are not interested in letting you know that they have a gun.
But they're already restraining themselves. What you see is the amount of violence that will continue whether there's guns or not.
That's
Sorry,
right.
getting a bit of echo.
Fabio's got a headset. Fabio, say something.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Oh. Maybe it was Michael.
Okay, is it Michael Land? Yeah, we're good now.
No, I'm good. I'm muted.
It keeps happening.
Test. Okay.
I guess
everything's good now. Sorry.
Well, anyway, that's the whole thing. Is that the same amount of crime is going to take place. The only difference is the people aren't going to be getting released back out on the streets after they do the crime. Because if you keep fucking with people who are armed, you're not going to be around to fucking repeat offend.
You know, we need to be able to take care of the world better so that people don't have to feel like they have to go out and rob somebody to take care of their family or to eat or to do anything. I mean, it's just, you know, when you look at the defense budget, there shouldn't be anybody who is hungry. They shouldn't have to defend their home. They shouldn't have to find a place to live for their children or go to, you know, I mean, we just...
But as individuals, we don't have the money to give anyone else because the government is already taking it and misusing it.
Well, that's why we got to stop putting psychos in power so that we can divert some of this money to the people that need it so that people aren't thinking they have to go aggress against another human for something. They'd have what they needed. You wouldn't have to walk around bopping somebody over the head. You know, these people don't care whether they walk down the street and, you know, knock you out from behind with a fist.
Let me take a second to welcome Fabio. And you want to jump in here, man? Tell me what you think about.
No, I'm always fascinating when you guys are talking about guns. It's like listening to people from another planet to me. But
really, where are you from? Where are you at?
I'm from Italy. I live in Europe, and you know, this kind of things are just mind-boggling to me. But I understand the point. Still, it's totally alien to the society and the culture I live in. So.
Wow. Well, I appreciate that honesty.
Well, I got to tell you, Fabio, it's totally alien to me and my friends, and it wasn't until I was well into my 60s, 50s that I thought I needed a gun. And it was terrible.
It's funny because my grandmother, she's 99 and she never known a gun, and she lived through 2 world wars. So
I understand fully.
Yeah.
I understand fully.
Fabio, would you be afraid if people around you had guns?
No, I don't see the necessity of normal people owning guns around here. So,
but like if it was just their right to do it, if they were just allowed to carry them. Would you be worried that they would just all of a sudden change their behavior patterns and start shooting people they didn't like?
You know, it's okay. It's a complex question because, you know, well, first of all, I understand your point. I don't want to be picky, but you got to understand that in order to do that, it's not only a law which should be changed around here. It's a whole social contract which, you know, usually is around Europe and all over the world. You know, I must say. So that's really difficult to even fathom the idea. You know what I mean? And you know, and besides that, I don't know. I mean, there's people around here which have guns. You know, they have guns. You know, the people go outside. You know, they go hunting and stuff like that. It's just
called the mob. What about the mob in Italy?
Yeah, but it's different, you know. So it's a really difficult concept for me to try to explain what would happen because it's so again, you know, it's so alien for the society. I mean, so it would be a really difficult question to me to answer to.
Would you feel uncomfortable coming to the United States, being around people?
No, I've been to the United States more than once, and I've been there a lot of times, and I know a lot of people around there. So I understand. I mean, I understand the concept. It's just that it makes no sense to me. That's pretty much it. You know, I think that if you live in a society, you live under what I call a social contract. So you delegate some of the you know, of the powers and authority to some institutions. And in my case, all over Europe, that kind of power is delegated to police forces, and they're the one who are supposed to defend people and the society from criminals, and they're the one.
We have a social contract. It's we call it the common law.
Yeah, it's well. I mean, in England they got a common law, and the situation is not the same. So I wouldn't say that's the case.
But that's, I mean, it is the case though. We do have the common law here. We also have laws that are more severe and more binding than the common law too. But we still have the basic principles of do no harm to other people, do no harm to anyone else's property, and be honest in your dealings.
No. I understand. I'm talking about, when I'm talking about social contract, I'm talking about something different. And again, I know for a fact, England has got common law, Australia's got common law, but the situation is not the same. So I don't think you can refer to common law as the basis for why you have that attitude. All over. I mean, and I'm generally speaking. I don't want to. I know I'm generalizing, so I know it's wrong. So, but bear with me. So I don't know. It's fascinating. So yeah, I don't think I have a leg into this discussion. You know what I mean? Besides the fact that it's really interesting to me. But as for opinions, I don't have. I mean, I can only give you the opinions I have based on the society I live in.
Well,
fun fact. Sorry.
I said thank you for that, Fabio.
No, yeah,
what's the crime rate like in Italy? Well, or what's...
I'll tell you a fun fact. The highest, I think, I might be wrong on that, but I think I'm not. The country in Europe where they have the highest number of deaths by firearms is Switzerland. And do you know how many assault weapons there are in Switzerland? Almost every family has got an assault weapon.
Yep.
Almost every, because everybody, well, 90% of the population in Switzerland, well, not 90%, the vast majority of the population in Switzerland is, they have to go training for the military, I think every 2 years or stuff like that. I might be wrong on that, but they have to do that, and every eligible soldier in Switzerland has really got an assault rifle and all that stuff. So
that's great.
Yeah, but you see what I mean? I mean, there is a correlation between the number of guns and death by guns. So
yeah, death by guns can be an accidental death as well, right?
Police going with guns every time.
You're totally right. I mean, there might be an accident. You're right. The fact is, I don't have a nuclear bomb in my garage, so there won't be accident of me accidentally blowing off that nuclear bomb. You know what I mean? So you take away the accident part by not having a nuclear bomb in your garage.
But I think a gun is more like a knife than a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, I got a knife, but I haven't got a gun. So.
Yeah, but your knife can kill just as quick as my gun can. Just you have to be a little closer up.
Yeah, but it's really difficult to clean a knife and get shot in my face. You see what I mean? So.
All right. Well,
but anyway,
I get what you're saying, Fabio, and I'd like to just say, as far as our common law goes, it still controls a lot of our social contract, if you will, because there is no actual social contract. There's just sort of a code of conduct that the body politic agrees to, and it's a very loose agreement too, because my rights still are paramount to everyone else's opinion of my rights and my activities, so long as I'm on my property. I can own my guns, and if they change something and I can't carry it out everywhere, I just may not go out much. I'm fine with that.
No, but I understand. My only point of contention would be that if you live in a society where you still feel that you need the right to have a gun to protect yourself, there is probably something wrong with the institution which should protect yourself.
Okay, all right. Now wait, you're saying that there's something wrong with the institution or with. Listen, It's people. It's people. And as long as there's a young guy with attitude and an older elderly person that has something that young guy wants, there could be potential conflict. And there will likely be at some point potential conflict because that is the nature of humans. That
No,
is our
but no,
nature.
no, no. No, no, but I understand that. I was sorry, I was probably not clear enough. I'm sorry about that. What I'm trying to say is that, for example, I've got a road in front of my house. Okay, there's cars driving by.
Right.
I'm not supposed to go there and fix the hole in the road, because supposedly there is someone, an institution that pays with their taxes, which have to go there and fix the hole.
Yeah, these are just other people.
No, no. But I'm just saying that. So I shouldn't be feel compelled or have the right to fix the pothole in my road. I have delegated that kind of
Right.
responsibility
You pay for
to
that.
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
I pay people to do that. Okay, perfect. So
And
for
as
the
long as
same
your
reason,
government, Fabio, as long
No.
as your government does the right thing and fixes that, fine. But there's some things
Exactly.
that the government can't fix or that they
Well-
won't fix when they're corrupt. The
well,
American government is very corrupt, Fabio. Like, you would not believe. Well, maybe you would believe. You're from Italy. So you,
William, I live in Europe. You don't have to tell me about corrupt governments.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we invented them, so
Ah.
I'm quite okay with that. But again, I was saying,
That's
so
why
the
we're
same
over
way-
here.
the same way I'm not supposed to go out and fix a pothole. I'm not supposed to go out with a gun to defend myself because, supposedly there's people I pay, which is the police, which they're going to defend me. So I don't need that.
No.
I don't.
No,
Well, yeah, I mean,
you're
this is how
putting
it-
a lot of trust in people to defend you.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, no,
these-
this is how
in
it
my-
works here.
Yes, but in my country, those same police are the ones that are coming to deny you your rights.
I'm not talking about your country. I'm not.
Right.
I'm not qualified to talk about your country. I don't live in your country, so I might have an idea, but that's just my opinion. I understand that. I'm not in your shoes, so I'm really clear on that. I'm just telling you what is, the general idea in Europe and most of the Western countries towards owning a gun.
Well, I
No,
have two
no,
reasons.
Michael,
I only have
no,
I only have
Michael, I'm
two
sorry.
reasons for
I
my.
saw the comment. That's completely false.
Well, in my world, my shotgun has always been for sport. I only recently, within the last 6 months, got myself trained for a handgun. I'd like to protect my castle the best way I know how. And in case my government goes south and becomes a tyrannous government, I'd like to be able to stand with my brother soldiers and run the rats out of town.
Okay.
All right, you want to move on to the next subject, or?
I guess so. Sorry, I was in the middle of. What we got here? Did you hear about this? Okay, is a story. Some was it illegal aliens were released? Hold on a second. Okay, having a problem with my computer. All right, again.
John, are you talking, Brojo, are you talking about where Obama administration gives tips to illegals on getting work permits, or is there something else going on there?
No, they put a link in here. Shit. Where is it? Okay.
There's a story here where Mexico is now deporting more people than the United States.
Oh, I saw that one as well. Oh, all right. You want to touch upon that one? Because I didn't. I saw that headline, but I saw another headline where there was some illegals being released, like 65,000 into the street were released.
Yeah, you want to go ahead and do that one? You can, man.
Okay, and then let me. 5,000 freed in Arizona alone. Let me see.
You know, it's weird because every time I read criminal aliens on the, is that, you know, director says no one fired for releasing 65,000 criminal aliens onto the streets.
Thinking I might need me another gun. I'm so happy I'm not in a border state. A friend of mine just bought this gorgeous ranch down in New Mexico, and she's like, "Oh my God!" I said, "I don't know what made you think you could move from the main line up in northeast Pennsylvania and zip yourself down to New Mexico." I said, "You're going to need guns and guard dogs. What are you thinking?" She's like, "It's unbelievable. You can't imagine." She said, "It's like overnight." She said, "I feel like I'm in Mexico." I said, "Well, my friend, what can I tell you? You might want to reconsider the move. That would not be one of the states I would have chosen."
Yeah, here in yeah, I saw there's a link. Nearly 5,000 Arizona immigrants with criminal records were released from custody. Federal agency has acknowledged. Of those, 121 later committed fatal crimes. National Review reported from Homeland Security and what's my
I'll tell you, dual citizenship is starting to look up.
guys still there?
Yep, still here.
Hold on, hello?
Yep.
I lost my screen, hold on. I'm plugged in.
Just another Google glitch.
And the Safmeister has returned. Yeah, my grandparents are okay. So, like, I've just had to call my granddad, check everything's okay there. I've got to take care of them.
You're a good egg.
My bad.
Thanks, my god. Just annoying that it's like 2, possibly close to 3 miles away from my place here to my grandparents. And if my nana, like grandmother, is having like anxiety attacks or panic problems, it means I've got to get a taxi straight there. Not too good on the wallet. But yeah, of course I love them. I care about them. I'm not looking for attention, by the way. It's like, oh yeah, I need to be known as a really nice person. No, that's just me. I've got to look after them.
Yep. I liked it in the old days where families all lived together. You know, where everybody, you know, 3 generations under one roof would be fun.
Yeah, I'm considering becoming Amish just because of that.
You gotta have a lot of money, though. You need a lot of space, like a Kennedy compound. Families get to be too large. My family's huge.
Well, actually,
it would be fun.
My nana has 13 brothers and sisters.
Wow. Most
Not
of
like
my
13
friends
each,
come
but
from
13 total.
yeah,
So
most of my friends are 10 and 12. We're only 4, but all of my friends are, and they're either Irish or Italian. And it's minimally above 8. My parents were slackers. They stopped after 4. But
Well,
Everybody I know.
I guess you're lucky that you don't live in China, where there's this apparent. Totally forgot what it's called, named whatever.
What, being an only child?
It's like a restriction in China, where you can only have one kid.
Yeah.
Somebody said not the other day, quite a few weeks, if not months ago, like with a YouTube video, that that's actually all lies. There is no restriction in China. But I don't know.
I'm back. Where'd John go?
There you go. I think he was having some problems with his screen. I think he was going to jump out and jump back.
All right.
That's quite the picture you're throwing up there, William.
Well, yeah.
That's what he really looks like.
No, I don't have a single tattoo. The gun thing, yeah.
It's amazing what you can do with a single marker pen.
Yeah, that guy is actually tattooed like that for real. Though his name's Ronan.
What? Don't even tell me that.
No, it's the truth. He's completely tattooed up like that. So
Oh, come on.
No, he's been on lots of different shows. He's a model.
Oh my Lord.
I'm pretty sure I have, actually.
I'll find a link.
Oh my Lord. That's impossible. Look at that.
I'll get you a link. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have seen him before. It's just...
The poor body. You know, your body has to clear all that ink. The body doesn't know it's supposed to have all that ink on it. Oy.
Yeah, here's a guy.
And what's his name?
Hold on.
His name's William, obviously, isn't it?
No, I'm trying
that
to
had
find.
to hurt, didn't it?
I'm trying to find the guy right now.
Especially on the nose, and that's all black. Oh my Lord. You better have a good tattoo artist to pull that off.
That's true. I know my tattoo stuff.
I mean, seriously, can you imagine if you were having children? You'd have to... The kid would be afraid.
Michael, and when you laugh and you grunt, it cracks me up.
Well, just cracks me up too, and I'm thinking to myself, can you imagine this poor kid? He's probably going to be scared to death, and then you got to bring him to school and like, yeah, here's my dad. Oh my Lord, I can't even imagine.
Here you go. There's some other pictures of him.
Plus, it had to hurt.
Valar Morghulis, I think's his name. Maybe that's the tattoo artist. I don't know.
Oh yeah, another view. Thanks for the link, William. Oh, I like the Biohazard logo on his chest. Like Resident Evil games, where they apparently originated from in Japan. Resident Evil, like zombie sort of games, were originally known as Biohazard. Or Biohazard, Resident Evil, whatever you want to call it.
It's hazmat symbol for me. I just look at it as hazardous materials when I see it.
Yeah, it is the same thing. I thought it would just be like an individual photo or three, but there's quite a few there.
That's a bit extreme.
Oh no, there's no doubt about it. That's very extreme. For full body tattoo, permanently of all that. I mean, even his skull is tattooed. That's
You never need to worry about a Halloween costume.
No, it's impossible for him to do anything but appear in costume. He just drew his costume on permanently.
Yeah.
Boy, it's you got to be dedicated to the look, man. Can you imagine now you got to go to, a friend of yours is getting married, it's a black tie event, and you got to show up looking like that.
Why's everybody staring at me? I can't get a job.
Guess you could put some makeup on and tone it down a little, but holy smokes.
Dude, can you imagine if like the babysitting agency sent that guy over to watch your kids? Sorry, I'm not going out.
We're trying to make his wife a necrophiliac.
See,
Yeah,
this is why I
see,
carry a gun. This is why I carry a gun. If somebody's willing to do that to themselves, what might he be willing to do to me?
Does anybody here know what that movie was about? Like a combining tattoo thing? I wonder if it was some kind of horror or something or other.
I'm betting that the next big fad is people getting like LED monitors surgically implanted into their skin where they can have a flashing screensaver rolling all the time instead of a tattoo. Look at me now. I changed my tattoo. Look at it. There it is. Now it's this one.
It's already been done. That's known as the Teletubbies. Ever
All right,
seen?
I'm back. Sorry about that, guys.
Come back and save it. We're really going into madness now.
You go into madness? You didn't? You didn't go into another story or anything like that?
We jumped the tracks entirely. Went on to tattoos and weirdness.
Tattoos. Oh, speaking of tattoos, there was a story they were worried about tattoos being used by the NSA for tracking.
Look at the post I just put down there in the side chat right there. Just
I'm trying to pull up the story. I hope I don't have any further issues here.
yeah, it's not a story. It's just some pictures of somebody who has just gone so overboard with the tattoos that it don't even make sense anymore. It's the same picture that, or it's the same guy that is in that picture that I put up sometimes with the gun.
Are these really tattoos?
Yes.
To make himself look like a skull?
I mean, yeah. That's what he's into. Like you see the quote at the bottom, you know, people have different ideas of what beauty is. And I suppose that's true.
Wow, that's freaky. Oh, we should screen share. You screen share? Did you screen share that?
No, you can.
Okay.
I think it's kind of one of the tattoos that William shared. Is I don't know if he's on a talk show either in America or England, but I'm sure I've seen him on TV somewhere.
You see it on there? Screen sharing now.
Yeah,
Just
there
check it
we
out for our one viewer out there.
Let me present it. Now that's a
What's he
handsome
doing?
man.
Oh, he has dragonfly by his eye. Okay.
Let's shower Cole style with that finger glove thing. You know, shower Cole that like an X Factor judge. Okay.
The weird glove thing that he's wearing?
Yeah, it
This is-
just reminds me of a shower Cole video.
This is so hard to believe that these are actually.
You know how much money's involved in that dude's decoration?
I can't imagine.
Jeez.
Well, I guess you can probably get some serious parts in Hollywood, and that probably surely has
He
paid
can only
off.
play one type of
Extreme.
person.
Yeah, but he's got that part nailed.
He can always be the tattoo victim. You know, you can always have somebody like a scene where the guy's
He's
getting a
like the
tattoo.
Freddy Krueger, and you don't even have to apply makeup. You know, just put him in, coach.
He probably can't act. He probably can't act at all.
Freddy Krueger has to have the melted skin effect. You know, the scar thing.
I don't know. This is just as hard to look at. I think in a way. You just look. Oh my God, that's your brains. Look at that. You know, that's real special. that's one way to spend your money.
Now,
I think
isn't
we
that
made,
special?
Paradise by the dashboard lights with that guy. You need the lights off, actually. Maybe a couple of paper bags in case one fell off.
Michael, please don't get Meatloaf in my mind again. That's so hard to get out of your brain when it keeps repeating over and over and over again. Paradise by the dashboard light. Oh God, I can't sing to the stuff here.
Well, Fabio, are you still here? Maybe you could speak to this, being in the Eurozone. Looks like banks might not be opening up in Greece on Monday. Seems to be a lot of people withdrawing their money as they face this crisis now.
You're breaking up a little bit. I'm not sure I understood what you said.
The money crisis in Greece, I think they had like 2 weeks or something. He was mentioning about the
Can you
financial
hear me
problem
now?
in. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they might have some deadline right now, but they've been living under deadlines for about 2 or 3 years. So it's not big news actually. So.
Well, they were posted. They had some money due, like $1.5 billion or something like that. I know
Hmm.
their prime minister was his name Tsarapis. I don't know how that couldn't pronounce it because they wanted to go into the pension funds of the citizens and also raise taxes. And he's like, "We're not going to have that,
Yeah,
to pay
it's
off this debt." But it seems like there's a now people are going to the bank. Withdrawals are up. And I don't know. I just came across a story that they're thinking of closing the bank Monday.
it's been kind of a fucked up situation for about a couple of years. Well, a year at
Oh
last
yeah.
in Greece. So really, I mean, it's I wouldn't say it's no big news because of the situation. There are always some new details because every so often, every 4 or 5 months, they got a deadline to pay some kind of debts that they got from. So it's quite fucked up because even recently it turned out that they made some the Greece government made some stuff and they claimed that they were forced to do that kind of things because it was asked to them, but apparently that wasn't completely true. So it's a really weird political and economical game around there. So and also there are some things that you cannot even make them up. Like for example, we last year all the European countries they were forced to lend money to Greece because it was part of an agreement. And there were some countries that were forced to lend money to Greece at I think 2.5% rate, but because of their economy wasn't that good, they had to get money on the market at something like 4% rate. So they have to borrow money at 4% rate to give it to Greece at 2.5% rate. It's insane, but that happened, and it's one of those things that it's on one side it's really funny to watch because you really have an idea of how messed up things can get. And on the other end, it's quite difficult to watch because there's people involved. So
Hmm. But
yeah.
we're doing the same shit here, you know. Uh, money chasing after bad money chasing after bad money, or
Well, well, you see,
printing money just to
yeah.
keep up on an interest to pay the interest rate, even the interest
Well,
payments that the debt
yeah,
that we
but I
have.
mean, the funny thing is that it's not really a case of bad money chasing away good money because the currency is the same. The funny thing is that that kind of things, it happens all over the world
Mm.
commonly. I mean, it's common that it happens. I mean, most of the countries in Africa and in some other parts of the world, they got huge debts, and people which that they owe money to, they ask for uh, remedies and do something about that. The thing about Greece is that because of the part of the European community and part of Euro, they are forced to do that unless they drop out of Euro, which would be a fucking disaster for them. So it's a really tight game of people which don't want to lose money, which they lend to Greece, but on the other end they cannot push too much because if you push too much, the rope breaks down and then there is nothing for anybody. Yeah, it's quite. I mean, it wouldn't be that tragic if there weren't actual people and human lives involved. That's the really distressing part. But other than that, it's no really big news. I mean, that has happened, in a lot of places. Argentina was one. When they started selling junk bonds, they failed a lot of banks all over the world because they were selling junk bonds, and all of a sudden they say, you know what, fuck it, we're not going to pay that money anymore. So if you got a debt with us, yeah, you can clean your ass with. And what the fuck are you going to do? I mean, there's really nothing you can do. You know.
Yeah, unless you're willing to dictate property, right?
Yeah.
Looks like there was a record $1 billion withdrawn from Greece. I don't know. Yeah, just yesterday. It's like we need a global reset button,
Remember the end of what is it?
Exactly.
Kurt Russell, Escape from L.A., where he pushes the button that shuts all the power down, like over the entire planet or something like that. You remember that movie? I guess I'm alone with that one. Anyway, it's a great scene at the end of the movie.
Who's in the movie? Who's in the movie?
Kurt Russell. It was a lot of people. You remember Escape from New York? They came back in the 80s. All right, there was a remake in the 90s, I believe it was. Kurt Russell reprised his role as Snake Plissken, and he had there was this device. It was like a huge EMP that would shut the power down over the entire globe, I believe, if not just in the United States, but I think it was the entire globe. And at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, he fucking pushes the button. And that was like the best for me. I was just like, oh, wouldn't that be great? Just to have everything go back to the Dark Ages for a little while. Let everybody reset and reprioritize, and all these systems that we think we can't get out of and that there's no way to reset would actually be reset. I think it would be magnificent. Oh, it would be chaos at first, but when it was over,
for sure,
magnificent.
Listen, wouldn't be too bad. You learn to make fire and grab some cordage and
we would be hardened.
Get a good knife.
We would be hardened, self-sufficient people again, not dependent on the nanny state to protect us.
Well, it's funny. We just had a major storm blow through here a couple of days ago, and we had just a little over 24 hours. And most often, I'll take the dogs and go find somewhere to stay overnight or whatever. Then I thought, you know what, I'm going to test my survival skills. I'm telling you, 24 hours without power is an interesting way to spend in your own home without, going to get the luxuries of checking in somewhere and just, turn the TV on, grab the laptop. No, you had to do it the old-fashioned way.
You know what happens when the power goes out around here? Everybody goes the fuck outside. Nobody goes inside because it's hot inside.
Well, it was cool here and hotter outside. The only place to be in was inside because the storms didn't do much for the heat wave.
Right, but I got a buckload of kids, and as soon as the power goes out, there's no more video games or TV. So immediately they want to go outside and learn shit.
Oh, well, that's not too bad. But I'm talking about what do you do for dinner time and evening? So I just cleared out my fireplace and got out my camping gear and cooked in the fire. It was really cool. Yeah, it was awesome. I had candlelight going. It was almost like Victorian days.
Very
cool.
Remember
when we had those storms, those power outages?
I'm going to try a weekend the next time.
A year or so ago?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, well,
they were long-lasting power outages, right?
Yeah, for me, it was 6 days. We had no power. And
I'm going to try a weekend.
First couple interesting days, like you said, no power, you're getting the candles out, but it does bring a sense of community back, though. People do come out of the woodwork. They'll call on your cell phone.
Last time we had a power outage,
and they start helping one another because after a couple of days, we needed to get showered and stuff. So now you're getting My friends, they open up their house for us to go take showers.
Yeah, last time we had a
It
power
was
outage was just for a couple hours, and I ended up out sitting on the playground with my kids, and my neighbor came out, who I hadn't seen in a long time, came out with his guitar, and we sat there together and played guitar for about 3 or 4 hours while the power was out. And and then it was over, the power was back on, it was like, see you later, and we all went hauling back ass into the house. Hadn't seen him since.
How about when they had the blackout in New York City? That was a number of years ago. I don't remember the year. Yeah, all the neighbors came out, and yeah, you get to learn more about your neighbors. You're hanging out. You don't see them, especially in New York City. I mean, it's like everybody's congested. Everybody usually just wants to just go home, stay in the house. But
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of benefits to having less technology sometimes, just in your own personal lives and your personal growth. I mean, we get hooked into our social media like I am right now.
That's why I like camping. I like my toes in the dirt.
Eric,
I like a campfire. I like chopping wood. I like being out there. It's awesome.
hello, Eric. That's a strange response.
he's muted.
Yeah, I say hello to him and he muted. It wasn't muted a second ago. He muted it. He doesn't want to talk.
Did I mute him before? Because when he came on, that there was a bunch of noise.
Maybe you did. Maybe you did.
But anyway, it seems that Pope Francis is he's pessimistic about our world today as well. If anybody's interested in what the Pope says.
Not a huge, not a huge concern. What I guess.
I'm a little less than thrilled with him.
That is putting it so delicately, really. I mean, I'm not Catholic at all. It has no effect. Well, I'm not going to say that it doesn't have any effect on me, because whatever the Catholic Church does, all Christians get attributed with it. Like when the Catholic priest started diddling kids, all Christians come under fire about, hey, you guys protect kid diddlers. Dude, no, we don't. Not us. So
yeah, there's a lot of Christians that do, and it's not just Catholics. There's plenty of pastors that are guilty of the same exact thing.
Right, there's a lot more.
How about they lowered the age of consent to 12 at the Vatican? That speaks volumes. Speaks volumes.
Yeah, it's not just Christians by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, yeah.
The kid diddling just happens apparently everywhere. That's not a religious phenomenon at all.
But it is. It is out there to be the vicar of Christ. You kind of have to be a little bit more.
And when it's swept under the rug like it's been, it's a problem.
Yeah, but who's sweeping it under the rug? This is the Catholic Church.
No, it's all churches are where it happens. It's swept under the rug.
Dude,
in synagogues,
not.
In synagogues, it is too. Yes, it is.
Oh, sure it is.
I promise you, they report.
These two going at it again.
But that's not true. It's not.
Who wants to handle any of their organizations, right? I mean, of course, there's going to be every effort to try to sweep things under the rug.
I'm sorry.
To hide things, but like in the Catholic Church, where if there was an accusation against a priest, they would move him to another parish. You had that.
Not only did they hide cardinal law, they allowed him to escape to Vatican City, dump all of his treasures off to his sister for $1, and then give him some kind of elevated position once he got to the Vatican. What the fuck? They should have carved his ass up. They would have saved all the Catholics. But that's a joke.
Yeah, let me explain something,
and
Eric.
The fish stinks from the head down.
Eric, in churches, it's like a little tiny social club where you've got a bunch of do-gooders ready to judge and pick apart everyone else around them all the time. And if you think that they stay out of each other's business, you're crazy. They will quickly report each other. Especially even something as simple as common and simple as marijuana use. There will be people in the church that may even try to report you if they hear about it and you've got kids, under the justification that they're trying to protect the children. Okay, but these people, there's no
church.
Nobody's protecting anybody in an evangelical church from anything, really. Honestly, they're quicker to turn people in to have gospel.
You know what, William? You can believe that. That's I'm sorry. There's certain things that are not exposed, and one of them is when pastors overstep their bounds of authority. I'm sorry. It happens a lot. It's happened. It's been reported a bunch of times in Indiana recently, right outside of Chicago.
It happens all the freaking time. More often than not.
Hold on a second. I think William lost himself.
No, I'm right here.
Oh, okay. Because now you just rejoined the room. Yeah.
Yep, it happens more often than not.
It has nothing to do with religion.
The Jesuit slogan is, "You give me a young boy to the age of 7, and I'll have the man for life."
It has nothing to do with faith. It has nothing to do with religion.
No kidding. We're just talking about.
Excuse me, Michael Ann.
These ones.
Michael Ann, please. It has to do with insular organizations. That's what happens. In other organizations where there's no exposure to certain things, what's hidden are other types of crimes. It could be money. It can be drugs. It could be anything. But it happens.
That's man for you. Doesn't matter his religion.
Sorry, I stepped away just for a second to grab some water. What did I miss?
Well, it's more, this is a man. It's a man's problem. Doesn't matter what his religion is or whatnot. It's just, when you decide that you're going to be the head of the whole.
It's a human problem.
You got to have a. That's what I meant by man.
That's what she's saying.
She said man and his.
Mankind.
In the general, the plural, the royal. All of us, me and everybody. And, I have a tough time with a guy in his position, with what he allows to get away with. And not just him, but, the boys in the cloak before him. This guy's a bunch of thieves. And, to kiss a ring, you got to be out of your mind.
And you say the same thing about the Mormon church, though. They're very secretive. They have all kinds of cover-up.
Churches are meant for weak people. Okay, the Lord doesn't need He needed you to honor Him, not money changers.
Yeah, the kind of churches that we have today are nothing even close to what was going on in, after the.
You'd have to be, going to churches.
It's a country club kind of thing now.
There is. When was the last time you were in a church, Michael?
Thursday, 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
Was that a wedding or something?
A wedding?
No, actually, it was for confirmation to stand in for someone.
I don't even know that.
It was like it's like you have to go. It's a class or something that you go for.
You were a sponsor, right? It was just a
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember. I received my confirmation. Choosing
I
another
used to
name
be.
for
I used to
yourself.
be a Eucharistic minister in my church.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, sorry everybody, I'm out. I need to go and watch this yoga stuff with Luke.
Namaste.
Watch out for that. What is that? Downward dog.
You're gonna go do some yoga, Safi? Is that what you said?
Watch out for that downward dog.
I've really got into yoga recently. It's a good form of stress
All right.
and stuff.
Do your thing, man.
Do your thing.
I'll see if this call is still available after this yoga session thingy.
All right. I will see you later.
All right, I got another story if y'all are ready.
Oh, okay. Because I had one up already, but go ahead.
I want to do this one. Is it about the school lunch program?
Bye,
No.
everybody.
All right.
Take care.
All right.
No. Unless look ahead.
The one I was telling you about with the school lunch program scans students' thumbprints for tracking purposes for a federal database. It says it,
Where's this
in the
happening?
story. I'm going to post it. It's from the Drudge.
If you want to screen share the story, I want to just tell the website.
No, just going to post it over there in the side chat.
All
I'm
right.
lazy that way. Yeah, I think that's very interesting. Well, I don't understand what the purpose of gathering these children's fingerprints during the lunch program for a federal registry or a federal program to keep track of their purchases. I don't understand. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's a huge waste of tax dollars, and I think it has another purpose entirely.
Is that coming up on your screen? Just want to make sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is.
Seriously, what has the world come
Oh,
to?
this is in my. Oh, wow.
Yeah, Pennsylvania.
Hey!
Yeah, so not what is the world coming to, what is your local area coming to? Hey, St. Tommy.
Hey, Tommy.
Yeah. A Pennsylvania school district is scanning students' thumbprints, tracking all of their lunch purchases,
Is this near you?
and turning the data over to the federal government, the Hazelden. Hazelden is up no, that's in the northern part of PA.
Oh, you know who's
That's
up
like
there is
near-
Rev. Rev is up there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Scranton. That's a Scranton area, Wilkes-Barre.
And where are you, Brother John?
I'd rather not say.
Oh, okay. Witness protection
Especially
program?
especially with live.
Are you in the witness protection
Couple
program?
fucking guys looking to break
Are
it.
you really a red-headed female?
Yes, didn't you now?
Careful.
But really, they announced it will be providing free meals to all students regardless of need. The move comes after the federal government began incentivizing school districts to provide more. But you know what's going to fucking happen here now? How are these schools funded?
Tax dollars. Through property tax dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
So now the common problem now, we'll be paying for our own.
Oh, they're freaking tracking us and we're paying for it, and they're using the schools that were. Oh, you dirty bastards! I don't dig
That's
it.
why it's been moved here recently. Anybody listening from Pennsylvania, and probably the closest hopefully we've been to trying to remove the property, to eliminate the property tax. So get on your reps. I hope Pennsylvania is the first state to do that and cause a nice way to go through, like decriminalizing marijuana and having gay marriage, and maybe we can get rid of the property tax and cause a nice way throughout the whole country. Yes! Let me keep my money. I wrote a post. I said I was ready.
You're breaking up, Rojo.
You hear me now? Do you hear
Talk
me?
some more. You're coming in and out. It's weird.
Oh, okay. Maybe I have to stop personally. Maybe I don't know. My bandwidth or something. Do you hear me now? Where we go?
Yeah, it's about the same, I think. Talk some more.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Do I have to speak louder?
You're still like modulating in and out. It's weird.
All right, I'll just hold my tongue first.
Did you put the case back on your laptop?
Yes, I did. Hold on.
I'm thinking that's where some of it seems to be coming from, because when you put that cooling case on there last time, although cooling is important, you lost some sound quality, it seemed like. But I don't know much about anything. While he's gone, I'm going to say they're creating the same kind of registry that they did with the whole gun owners in New York. I mean, you can't trust that these registries that they keep are going to remain private, and these kids and their personal information could be released just as unexpectedly as the gun owners' information were released in New York City. I mean, these are children, though. I really don't see the reason for making us pay for this. Tommy, how are you today? Take us to another place, man.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. Greetings, Earthlings. Good to see all of you.
Where is those things? I want to start playing with these toys. Where are those things?
It's in the Google Effects thing. If you see those 3 dots at the bottom where it's got your little apps, click on it, and it should be like a yellow square. Maybe it's already there for you, and it's
There you
Google
go.
Effects.
Let me see. Okay.
How am I now?
You're
Any
echoing, but
better?
I can hear you. Yeah, you're better.
Okay. I am heating up a little bit.
We're gonna have to pitch in and get you a decent PC or something, man. Something with a cooling device.
I was saying I'm ready. I posted in Facebook in regards to this whole property tax thing. I'm ready to post a sign. I'm getting encouragement to do so. I'm ready to post a sign on my lawn saying I need a new roof, or to the effect like I need a roof. I would fix it if I was able to keep my property taxes. Something to that effect.
Right.
And just post that sign on my wall.
Well, I have a problem with them using property taxes to fund education because these things are not connected in any way. My kids don't go to public school. I would not subject them to that kind of shit. And that's my own personal opinion about it, that I don't want them indoctrinated by the state, a fiction, you know? So I keep them out of that mess. I don't know. I don't feel like I should be paying for other kids to be indoctrinated with that nonsense either.
Yeah.
Revisionist history and whatnot. They come out just being able, to know what to think but not know how to think.
Hey, you have 3 boys, right? 1 on the way.
Right.
All right, so that's 4 boys. What if you would figure out, put the numbers together of what it would cost to have 4 kids in the school system? All right.
It wouldn't be that much. I mean, not a whole lot more. I don't think of. Okay, wait a minute. What do you mean? What do you mean?
I'm trying to know. Let's see what would the numbers be compared to that, to what your property tax is, or even to show how much you're saving the state by having your kids homeschooled.
Oh yeah, that's true. I probably could, but the fact is they're not using the money for just schooling. They're using it obviously for these other kind of programs, and have Michelle Obama tell your kids that they can't bring their lunch from home anymore. I mean, what kind of...
There's a couple areas here, and people are getting furious. They just rebuilt a school. I forgot which county it was in Pennsylvania. $100 million school. I mean, you're talking about, it's like a college campus or a resort almost. Olympic-sized swimming pool.
$100 million.
$100 million.
So, if they're going to take your money by force and they're going to spend on whatever...
Okay. I'm getting carried away with the sound effect.
Sorry. No, that second one was just a total mess. Sorry. Oh, my Lord. I know.
So if they're just going to take our money and they're going to indoctrinate our kids and we're going to pay for all this, at what point do we have a responsibility to go, no?
I know. Where is that point?
You're right.
I'm getting to it.
I mean, you can't. Some kids require different levels of discipline than other children do. Some kids are fine. You tell them to hush, they're fine. Some kids, they got to stand in the corner for a while. Some kids are going to beat up on other kids unless you lock them away from the other kids for a while until they can acclimate to social interaction. I mean, all of this shit needs to be considered when you talk about homeschool, because who can do this better than a parent? Seriously. Who is more qualified to deal with their children than a parent?
I hear you. I don't know that I'm qualified to teach history, though. But here's the deal. So you all learn together. And you'll teach them what they need to know. Not bullshit. And you'll teach them the true history.
Yeah, we don't have to just go by whatever the school system tells us is okay for my kids to read. We can go get Josephus. We can go get Tacitus. We can read the Bible. We can do anything we want to, as long as it's beneficial to their development.
So what I hear is, this is what I hear. I hear you saying that it's wrong for this revisionist history to be taught, but you know the actual history. You know better than people that are in some ways trained to mitigate the types of behaviors that children demonstrate in public as they're developing. What's revisionist is subjective no matter what. Your history is revisionist also.
If you say
well,
so.
All I know is I never heard of Tesla in high school. I find that to be criminal.
Amen.
We're not talking about. We're talking about what William. I'm addressing what William was saying.
Well, that's what William's saying. The stuff that they're teaching you is not the stuff you need to know.
How do you know? What do you mean? How?
Because what makes a deal? If I had my choice over Edison or Tesla, I think I'm going Tesla.
What was just said blows my mind.
Excellent.
Good. Let your mind.
People have a right. You have a right to teach your kids things, but you're assuming that public high school is revisionist and or more revisionist than what you would be teaching them.
I don't know what I would call them, but I will say lacking would be what I would call it. I'm quite sure I could have had a better education from my parents at the kitchen table.
How are you quite sure?
Oh yeah, I'm quite sure. I can look back over many years and say to myself, I wasn't taught what I was supposed to know. My mother could have done it. She was a stay-at-home mother.
So your mother knows science and has.
My mother is smart enough to teach what they're teaching in high school. Absolutely.
I don't believe that for one split second. Your mother doesn't. I'll explain why. I'll explain why.
You don't have a dog in this.
I'll explain why.
I know.
What do you mean I don't have a dog in this?
I mean, you can have assertions about it, but you really can't do. I mean, it's out of.
You can have assertions about it, but you really don't know.
But I do have control over the situation.
So, and if I had kids, I would also.
Okay. Yes. But that's what I'm saying. With my kids, you may not like what I'm teaching them, but
I didn't say I don't like what you're teaching them. I didn't say that.
Then what did you say?
Well, it begs
you guys are
when you say
Michael,
revisionist
please let me answer his question.
Easy there, Padre.
Then don't interrupt every time I open my mouth, please. And it has really. What you're saying is that only you know the truth about
things. I didn't say that.
Let me finish, please.
It's preference.
Michael Ann, can you please stop interrupting me? Please.
Well, you're going down the wrong road.
No, I'm not. You're not. You don't even know what road I'm on. You don't even know what road I'm on.
Yeah, just finish because that'll probably take shorter than arguing about it. So go ahead.
Thank you. Fine. There's resources available to teach kids certain things, such as in science, such as in certain courses where it's not just based on, well, somebody is smart enough to teach and inform me. My parents are smart too. I learned things in science classes. I learned things through interaction. I learned social skills from being in a classroom that I wasn't going to learn at home. That I wasn't going to learn by being sequestered from certain parts of child development.
Who's sequestering
them?
Who's sequestering?
That don't happen. That don't happen. Excuse me. From within the home.
Well, there's more to the home. There's also called, you do a little day trip. How about you gather with other homeschoolers?
That's
fine.
fine.
Seriously, your limited view of a one room where kids are beaten over the head for 8 hours. Here's your science book. Here's your history book. Let's run through math, a little English, and I'll talk to you at lunch. It's a dim view you have, sir.
Curriculum that we go by, Eric? You think that we're just off the hip giving them, or maybe that you think that they're just sitting around in the dirt like playing with rocks, and we're just teaching Bible stories or something?
Where did I say that? Where did I say that?
You said that we sequester them away from basically everything that you think is normal.
Is that what I said?
No, you gave a whole list of things. You said that they couldn't be socialized properly, basically, because they were sequestered away from social development.
In some ways, they are if they're not in the right, because they're not in the same social situations.
They're also not in a gang. They're also not getting bullied.
You know what? I was in public school.
Who says that people who don't homeschool you can't join as a community?
I know.
And who says that kids at homeschool? Who says that kids that are homeschooled don't get bullied by other kids also?
Yeah, well, these are.
Yeah, so that
Tommy, you got something on this, buddy? I saw you raise your hand, man.
Okay. Oh, who, me?
Yeah, you raised your hand.
Yes. I want to say welcome, William. What's up? Nice
William
guitar in the background. Cool guitar and cool T-shirt.
Thanks.
I'm St. Tommy. I'm St. Tommy, just another G plus participant.
Right.
And
How do you feel about homeschooling, Tommy?
my kids homeschool, all
Oh,
of them.
awesome.
Yeah, man, had to get them out. But there's some advantages to public education depending on your district. Some of them are better, some of them ain't so good. Some of them suck in a bad kind of way. But I'm pro public education and I'm pro homeschool.
Bingo.
Depending on the situation. I like what Eric said about he seemed to be making a case for the benefits of participating, or the kids participating in a community education, which sounds wholesome and good and upbeat in certain situations, you know, depending on the quality of the crack available that's shoved up the kids' nostrils, you know. But public education can be great, and homeschool, great. It's all good.
But every yeah.
On your local district. But that's my official news decree on homeschool. I love it.
It seems more every year, more and more money is thrown at the education system. It's almost like the same thing with poverty, and everyone thinks that the solution is throwing more and more money at the problem, right? And meanwhile, where is the United States now as far as comparing the rest of the world? As far as education.
Right? Well, it's developed into a priesthood, into this special sacred cow of public education with all the priests and all the temples thereof. You know, it really has become so institutionalized, public education, that it holds it back. It hurts its function, which is to educate young ones. You know, get everybody literate over here. But so it's very frustrating, and the cost of it is outrageous. I mean, it's incredibly inflated.
I'm gonna tell you something that's gonna blow your fucking mind.
Tell me. Again?
My wife, she's a teacher, right?
Good for her. Good for her.
And she's in the system. She's a sub. She's right. Mm-hmm. But she'll tell you that she is told by the board there to only, even though the kids are able to learn, she says, I used to teach things at 4 times the rate that she is doing now. And she is told to kind of hold back the curriculum. These kids want to learn, they want to go forward, and she can't. They're tying her hands from teaching them to advance further than because they set the bar so low now. And they want to keep it there low, even though these kids are smarter than, they can go higher than this bar, but her hands are tied, which is it's fucked up.
Gotta look good, gotta keep those statistics up, and we can't be leaving some behind. Oh my gosh, that would be racial discrimination or something if we leave some behind. And it's so politically strained, it's so politically tightly wound that it's dysfunctional. And
then these kids get bored, right? They're going to get antsy, and then what? Then you're going to diagnose them as having, attention deficiency, right?
Yeah, bring in.
They're fucking bored.
Yep. Let's bring in that other priesthood called psychiatry. I love the science of psychiatry, but let's face it, shall we? If we feel like it. The state of psychiatry in the United States is a little bit Fruit Loopy, just a little bit Fruit Loopy it is. And again, what's not to respect about the science of psychiatry? But when you start pumping the young ones full of dope, the official ordained dope, something's a little bit off here, Let's just shit can the DSM-5, shall we? Let's have a good old-fashioned book burning. Hell yes. Anyway.
We're still here, but I think our school system's stuck in the industrial age.
Yeah, it's a political world, man, with all the power bases thereof.
The deliberate dumbing down of Americans.
But what the heck? Hopefully the flying spaghetti monster, yes, my father, is in control of all this chaos. That is my hope. you know, that is screwed up as it is, maybe something controls it. Maybe it is all ordered. Everything's on time, that's right. May we not poop our diapers, everything is on time. And again, that's a nice guitar in the background there. Do you play that, sir?
Very badly.
It's just for the ladies.
For the ladies.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know we had another William in the room. Sorry, William. How you doing? Welcome.
Thanks. There's a string broken on it, so I can't really play it right now.
I hate when that happens.
Did you want to jump in on this, Mr. Hunter?
Well, I was just wondering if you guys, if you're homeschooling your kids because you're worried about the quality of the education, or that there's some kind of maybe ulterior motive going on.
Quality of education.
Ulterior motive.
Actually, there's a lot of reasons that I homeschool. I can't narrow it down to a single thing. I mean, my children stay healthier because they're not in public school. They're not constantly getting sick. I don't have crazy doctor bills. I mean, I'm able to focus on them and protect them from, instances of violence and things like that. They do socialize and everything, but they do it in a way that I can kind of keep track of them, and they're not being initiated into gangs and given drugs or anything like that, or I'm watching them.
Well, I kind of think when it comes to homeschooling that, it's good that they are in a social setting where they can work out problems, fairly by themselves, and when it comes to like sickness, that it's good that their immune system is exposed to different things that it can learn to fight it off. You know what I mean?
All right, we go public places, but they're just not sandwiched in for 8 to 10 hours a day, depending on whether they play sports or not with a bunch of other people.
And meanwhile, they're feeding their lunches, or you wouldn't give to your dog.
Hell yeah.
I make the lunches for my kids, so.
Wow, how many you got?
You can't bring lunches to our local school.
You can't bring lunches to school. You got to sit them on a school bus, sometimes for longer than an hour.
Not at my
belts.
I guess I'm fortunate because I just walk 10 minutes to our school.
Well,
so
are you
I guess
special?
I'm fortunate. Maybe it's more convenient and fortunate for me that I have pretty easy access to the public school system. So.
Right.
Wow, that sounds good in your district. That sounds wholesome.
amazing.
Good.
I'm in Toronto. So.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
That explains a little more.
Yes. But in my district, though, the lunches are terrible. The crack is poor quality. The peer pressure is crazy. The gang peer pressure.
Right.
The political correctness is so thick that it creates just an incredible waste of time for the young ones.
Yes,
it's just
sir.
not a good option in my neighborhood. Hell no, man. They homeschool because it is a open shut case better option for my young ones. Hell, I wish there was a better option than homeschool, but there ain't. Not
Well,
in my.
it certainly isn't perfect, the public school system, even where I am, because there's a lot of shit I have to deal with. But it's dealt with, so.
Or not.
Congratulations.
My oldest two went to public school for a while, but when I saw how poorly they were performing and I couldn't figure out what it was, I started teaching them at home to get them caught up, and I saw that they were more than capable of learning and doing, but they weren't doing it at school. And so when I saw that their grades picked up terribly, and the only thing that happened was I started, helping them with it, and then they were really bored in school. So I said, you know what, just come home. Anything you want to learn, we'll learn. I can find it on the internet. I can go to the library. Whatever you want to study, whatever you want to do. And my oldest son, he's 16, and he's into carpentry. He loves building things and engineering things. He loves archways. He wants to try and build stone archways as experiments, just because he likes the way you stack them and it holds up, even though gravity seems to be your only mortar. So he's fascinated by that stuff, and he's really sharp. And one of the first things he learned was the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. I mean, that's something that you can't get a public school kid to tell you anything about.
Right. Where does the curriculum come from generally that you teach from?
We have a homeschool association or whatever that you join into, and
okay, that's awesome.
but you get to choose a lot of the curriculum. I mean, they have
Right.
certain things that they have to meet, but the rest, I mean, and I don't choose it anymore. I let my boys choose whatever they want to pursue, and if they don't like it, they don't have to continue pursuing it. If they want to go to college, they'll find a way to pay for it.
We use
Oh,
Cliff.
John, can I roll up? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I wanted him to see this article on the school in Springfield because it's right down the road from me. Can you? Is he still here, Brother John? There you go. Right here on Saxor Avenue. What was their problem? Oh, they're going to build a new school. Just what we need. There's like 4 schools all sitting there already.
Yeah, and instead of, even though many have advocated maintenance, the board approved this, and it's going to cost 118 to 140 million dollars for the
Oh
total
my
project.
God.
Well, don't they say that the schools they already have are underfunded? How are they going to continue to fund more? Oh yeah, that's right. They're going to tax the fuck out of it.
It's always underfunded, dude. It's the
It's
nature.
about 23% more than the current building maintenance.
I'm just ready to say no. I don't think these things apply to me. I don't think I should be forced to pay for it.
I'll give you
I don't
a
believe
link,
in what it's
Michael. I'm
I
sorry.
tell you, there's no benefits in being a homeowner anymore.
Damn.
This is why you have school taxes and you can't, and your property taxes and all. It's just unbelievable.
You don't actually
it's
own
quite
the land.
racket. I'm hearing that.
You know, it's unless you get it under a allodial title, you don't own that land anyway, even if you think you own it.
That's an interesting point. You know, there sure is a big tax incentive to build apartments. I mean, 5-year depreciation, 100% depreciation in 5 years. It is a winner business deal to build apartments, and it kind of inoculates one from that personal homeowner liability or that personal homeowner burden.
Tax group.
Yes, it's interesting how the tax code and how the tax code has developed towards pack them in and stack them.
So wait a minute. The people in the apartments, they don't have property tax like ours, or people who own their own land and house.
Yeah.
Oh, so even though I have a house and but my kids don't go, I'm paying for everybody in the apartment. Oh, that's good. And they don't have to. Oh, great.
But
I didn't even realize that. That's super.
But the 4-story apartment buildings, you know, I'm sure you've seen them in your district. They're so tax beneficial. They're so tax friendly to build those things, and it's a really good business deal for investors and builders to build those.
Everybody but the taxpayer.
Yeah, exactly. So it's almost like the tax code has developed in a way to discourage personal home ownership and encourage this pack 'em and stack 'em in little cubes, and it's kind of ugly. Not so pretty.
It's easier to lock down a building than lock down a community.
And if you think about the indoctrination that happens in schools too, as far as like what they think the Federal Reserve is, what they think where they think money comes from, all of this kind of shit is just furthering this indoctrination. Then I take my kids and I show them where money really comes from. Okay, what fractional reserve banking is. This is a hard concept for even my 16-year-old to grasp, but they understand that somebody in charge has the fucking cheat code. Okay?
Well, there's
they
a lot
can
of
make
great
money out of thin
videos.
air.
There's a lot of great videos on Google or on YouTube that explain that too.
Yeah, I use
like money as debt and stuff like that.
Yeah, thank you, absolutely, dude. And for anybody that's listening and that doesn't know about this, you really should go check it out.
Yeah, money as debt is
What I
a
find
great
funny.
video series.
I find
funny in this story is the one of the speakers here. This what I have highlighted, Matt Radico. He's a co-founder of the Parents Group, firmly in support of the Saxor option as an investment in the future. Like the Saxor option being build a new school. And his reasoning is, taxes will go up regardless of what you do. I hope you make the right decision. So they're like, they're going to go up anyway, so might as well build a school anyway instead of maintaining it or even considering other options.
The government tell you the war's going to continue for another 50 years.
Is there like some big subdivision that went up around there that they're building that school, or?
No, it's the same old neighborhood.
Oh.
They get grants, and then they can justify
That school was probably from the 50s, but it functions. I mean, it's not the biggest school on the planet, but it's right there.
The other issue that came up, I remember at the town meeting is that what happens a lot on these school boards, since many the people who are voting on the school boards, they have kids who are in the school, so obviously they're going to vote for programs that might be benefit for their kids or their kids that are
Well,
coming
they've got
up.
people that have been on that board for 22 plus years. This one guy.
Well, there comes to a point when you have to realize that throwing money at the problem is not solving shit. They're just continuing and
And we
expanding
continue to
the problem.
Yeah, we continue to pay our jailer to, keep us in prison.
More.
Yeah, for anybody, and I'm not saying that Eric was advocating taxation for the public schools from property tax, but
Cast out the infidel.
But I personally think that that's a lot. I mean, that a lot of people that have that view of public schools is they're these great, wonderful things, really support highly, taking it from homeowners, the money, and not repairing the problem. I'm provoking you, Eric. I'm trying to get you to come out and talk some. You've been
Prodding.
He likes to talk. I don't know why he's not talking to me.
He's asleep. He's in the bathroom. He'll be back.
He brings a different perspective, so I like having that.
Yes, and sincere too. Yeah. Very sincere.
Yeah, he's not just playing devil's advocate.
No. He has vision. Good vision. Hell, I wouldn't have said those things about there actually being some good public schools without Eric. There are some good public institutions, allegedly, somewhere in the United States. I'm sure of it. They're bound to be some good functional ones.
I like your shirt, William.
Oh, thanks.
I know Tommy said something about it. I just want to point it out real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Tommy.
Your sins are forgiven.
I actually saw them in Vegas at the Rio. It was a great show.
I like listening to Penn.
Vegas? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love his libertarian stance on things. I mean, I disagree with him on, of course, theism, but beyond that, I like what he has to say on a lot of things. And there's other things that we disagree on, like natural medicine or vaccines. But for the most part, he's not about force at all. He's voluntary. What's it called? A voluntarist. All right.
Volunteerism?
Yeah, that's his thing. And, I really dig that. That's respectful. I like it. Sorry, I didn't mean to turn this into Penn Gillette hour, but
It's okay.
What if soy milk is just regular milk introducing itself in Spanish?
Leche. All right.
That was too funny.
So,
Made me
Eric's
laugh.
not going to come back.
I thought I'd share.
Eric, are you back?
I hope we did scare him away.
Can someone else take up the argument that we need more taxes to fund public education, so I have something
Ugh,
about
please. I can't do the T word.
Nobody else for taxes? Damn. What if I start talking about guns again? You think he'll jump back in? Eric, I'm going to talk about guns if you don't come back.
Maybe he had to walk the dog or something. But we are getting upon that hour anyway, because we're getting near the 2-hour mark.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to cut the broadcast anyway. So I don't know if there was any. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to end with some, I don't know, okay. Lighter, well, not even so much lighter news. It's kind of sad. But the oldest woman apparently just died. The oldest woman in the world just apparently died yesterday. She was 116 years old. Amazing. There's a link to the page. And
Wow.
116.
That poor chick. That poor thing. 116 years.
116.
You got to stick around this shit.
And now the next oldest woman is in Brooklyn, New York, actually, my hometown, and she'll be turning 116 in July.
And she's scared as fuck. Wait a minute, this is the cutoff. Damn it. Anyway.
Oh, I wanted to get to another story. I don't know. Do you think we could do it quickly? Did you hear about this?
Let's do it.
You want to do it?
Do it, man. Just do it.
Okay, here's a link. A couple stabs a neighbor because the neighbor sent in a complaint about their loud lovemaking.
Now, both parties, like the couple, went over and stabbed the neighbor together.
I put the story in the side here. Let me get a. I'll try to get a screen share.
You don't like when we poke each other? How about we poke you for a little while?
For our one viewer out there.
It always makes me envious to hear other people making babies. It does, or having sex.
Yeah, but why you report somebody for that? I mean, they must have been like hooping and hollering and carrying on something fierce. But get you some headphones. They can't do it forever, and it'll get old with them. Trust me, it'll get old. They can't keep it up more than a couple months like that. Somebody else in one of the other neighborhoods is gonna freak out and stab them. You ain't got to do it.
Yeah, wait a minute. We can let me screen share, and then we can make fun of that mugshot. The mugshots are always fun to look at, isn't it?
You're gonna present it? Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna present it.
Is this gonna have griddle marks on his face like the other one?
Remember that guy?
He was.
But this one has a cross on her forehead. Maybe she's part of a. Wow. Yeah, this is the couple in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh.
Premarital hand holding. Oh my God! It can be loud and offensive. Oh.
That chick's scary, dude. No shit, she's scary. Let me get a look at this again here.
Yeah.
Oh, you take it away.
Oh.
Can't see it.
This guy looks like he's got the face like you're taking a picture of me, huh? Which one?
He's casting a spell, I'm certain.
What's that you say?
It's probably the look Sean Penn gives a photographer before he gives him a thumping.
All right, how much do you want to bet that these two aren't meth out of their minds? That's an interesting scar. That's not a tattoo. That's
her, definitely her. You know, her eyes. You know what her eyes say to me? Her eyes are really crying out for help. I really see that in her eyes.
No, her eyes are crying out for meth.
Hey, the biggest meth salesman. The biggest.
I can echo. Somebody, hello? Check. Maybe it was William. Okay, he's refreshing.
The biggest meth salesman in my neighborhood is Walgreens. I'm serious. Amphetamine salts by the metric ton. Walgreens and your local pharmacist is the biggest pusher, in tandem with Big Pharmacy and your local physician. Ooh, look at that poor girl blowing those bubbles.
Can you lower your speakers a little? Because I'm getting a bit of an echo.
Is it a little bit loud or something? Sorry.
It's like a little reverb sound. But anyway, yeah, an overly amorous couple are accused of stabbing their Tennessee neighbor who called 911 to complain about the noise. Deputies were called twice to the home in Rogersville. After the second time, Johnny Allen Richards, 33, and Aaron Brooke Lawson, and allegedly knocked on the neighbor's door, hit the victim with a rake with enough force to break the handle, then stabbed the victim in the arm with the broken end of the handle.
Wow.
Ouch.
That must have been insane noise making.
Well, thank goodness he didn't kill him. But yeah, it's messed up.
Those crows are pretty loud.
Well, there you go. And that's why, hence the name of the show, The Morning Crow. Thanks for joining us, everybody.